Tell me, when did your family first come to River Edge?
My grandparents came here in 1898, and they had a little farm up on Summit Avenue and Webb.
Had enough land so that they could farm?
No, they didn't buy any land. They only bought that piece on Kinnicamack Road where the ShopRite area is. They used to rent from Pyle Zabriskie. They used to own all the land. You could rent the farm for about $100 a year. A good reason not to buy it, I guess.
Okay, so they were farmers, but they didn't own the land. They were in effect tenant farmers.
Right, that's right.
What did they grow?
Mostly about 100,000 tomato plants, acres and acres of corn, and beans was their primary vegetables. My job as a kid was to repair the crates, the broken crates with a hammer and nails. That's what I did when I was a little kid. It was an era, it's a different era. It's not like it is today. Today it's push buttons. Everything's a push button. Then you had to do everything physically. So you lived off the ground. That's what they did. They actually lived off the ground. Lived within 100 yards of that farmhouse to this day. I bought my house in 1939, and I've been there since. And Mildred was born when my brother died, and then my youngest sister, she was born on Tenney Avenue, 14 Tenney Avenue. That's where my family finally lived. That was the first time we had showers. Whoever heard of showers? Well, that was the first time there was a shower in the house.
Is the Tenney Avenue house still there?
Oh, sure, beautiful. Down at 14 Tenney Avenue, they put a lot of additions on. You want to go see it? It's a beautiful house today.
And when you came to River Edge in 1923 and you went to school, which school did you go to?
Roosevelt.
And tell us a little about Roosevelt School.
Well, it was 8 classrooms. I think the school was built in 1919. And Marion Hasbrook lived across the street. And she used to go to that little school down in the valley on Grove Street. She was telling me her and Gordon Brown used to walk down there to school every day. And so we did a 7th grades or 8th grades there. We went, then they come up with the junior high school in 1931, which we were the first class out of the junior high school. It was good.
Do you remember who the principal was of the school?
Great man, Raymond Westervelt.
And
great man. Great. Transportation in River Edge, public transport was better than it is today, much better. You had trains running all day long, public service, and before that was the Mack bus company, ran out of New Milford and with the old jitneys and take it down to Hackensack, and that was the transportation. When we come from Elizabeth to visit the farm, which seemed to me where it was always there, you had to take a trolley into Newark, and a trolley into Patterson, then a trolley into Hackensack, and a little trolley ran up Main Street, Hackensack, into where Zabriskie Pond is. And from there, I guess we had a walk or something. I don't remember that.
Did anything happen to the business that your father was in during the Depression? Or were they still building houses, or were things difficult?
He had several other jobs too while he was doing this, and he worked. When he worked, like those days, you didn't get overtime and you didn't get time off. If you worked overtime, you got paid straight time. Like when I worked for the Ford Motor Company, if they wanted you to work, you worked. I got $5 a day in 1935, and I was the richest guy around. I had all kinds of money, $5 a day. Boy, this was a great deal there. And I stayed there for 5 or 6 years. And then I got up to about $42 a week. And then I went on the police department.
Learn these skills.
Oh, I didn't learn. You learned by what he would say, you had to learn something.
Just watched and...
Yeah, you like buying a house like in 1939. I was only 23 years old. What do I know about a house? So you learn to be an electrician and a painter and a carpenter and all that kind of nonsense. You had to learn to survive. You couldn't afford to pay mechanics to come in. It was too expensive. To this day, I haven't had a mechanic in the house yet.
I'll have to call you.
Don't call me, I'm too old. Great job today. They get all kinds of benefits and everything, you know, it's a very nice job.
Do you remember what the police examination was like when you first joined?
Yeah, we took a physical, number 1, medical, an oral, and a written test. There was four parts to it.
What kind of things did they ask you?
Good question. Anything.
Oh. Did they ask you about police you know, what you knew about policing,
No,
or was
the
it
funny
history,
thing
or?
is, you know, one day you're an average citizen, next day you're a cop. You had no training. Today you get 6 months of training. Now they're well trained, you know. And today you have to be like a college graduate too to apply for it, because it's a well-paying job. And hey, listen, portal to portal, I told these guys, I said, don't squawk to me. You 8 hours, you go home and you come back within 8 hours. You can't beat the system. You work nights and you work late afternoons, but as far as the hours, you can go by the clock. 8 hours, portal to portal, pick you up, take you home.
How did you learn to use a gun?
Oh, you learn up, just like everything else. You just learn.
Which end goes in your hand?
Well, to tell you the
Which
truth,
end
I
you-
never took that gun out of my holster in anger at anybody. I know my entire
Never
life.
fired it?
No, only
Good.
pistol shooting. That's all we ever
Uh-huh.
did. Yeah. I don't know of any. Yeah, we had one incident when old Jake worked in a gas station on Route 4, and he was held up one night, and he resisted, and the guy shot him. Boom, he's dead. He wandered around, and he ended up in the River Edge Diner. And Jack Horseman was sent there to see if the guy was hanging on the corner. He was there. And the guy went for his gun, and Horseman grabbed him by the wrist and held him like that. He helped him. And Charlie Rothschild, who finally come on the cops, he was a taxi driver at the time, hauled up and belted this guy, knocked him out, and they got the guy, they caught the guy. That was the most exciting part of the whole thing, and I wasn't even there.
Did he serve any time?
Oh, sure, he was found guilty of murder.
Oh, he
Yeah.
was found guilty, okay. Tell us about the Weir Estate. That's still here in River Edge
Yeah.
on the corner of Summit.
I don't know the fellow's name now. He's
Bud Cordway.
Broadway, yeah. He used to have a boat place down in Hackensack on the river.
And now
And
he
he did a
fixes
lot of building.
Rolls Royces.
Yeah. I guess.
Uh-huh.
His wife told me he could do anything.
And the people who originally owned that house were called Weir, W-E-I-R.
Yeah.
Did they have children that you knew, or?
I never even saw him.
Oh, you just knew of the house.
And we used to run through there and pick cherries and get caught and get thrown.
Did you retire from the police department?
51. Oh, I was 51. 67.
1967.
Yeah.
And what's life been like since then?
Good. Good. Well,
Okay. Mr. McEwan, I want to thank you for your fascinating stories of early days in River Edge. I look forward to perhaps another session
Well,
with you.